Well, hello everybody. Bill Thornton, SoCalSabre here. How are you all doing today? It is Saturday and it's time to take a look at what the music that I listened to this week on vinyl and CD. Before I get started though, if you haven't done so yet, please go down there and hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so to help the channel grow. And put some remarks down there. Do you have any of these albums? Do you like them? What's your favorite group? No, etc. Lots of good stuff. I'll like to get back with you. So I'm going to list them. I'm going to show them in the order that I purchased or picked, entered them into the collection, listened to this week. The first one was a recent purchase a couple months ago through Amazon. And is After Bathing at Baxter. This is Jefferson Airplane's third album, 1967. Of course, this is a 2015 reissue. And it's psychedelic rock. Now let's take a little look inside, see what's happening. It was new, was not used. I bought it brand new. And I showed you the front. Show you the back. I read somewhere where that bathing in Baxter's was some sort of acronym name for after going on an acid. There's an 8-volt. There's no inner sleeve with this one. Came with this. It's a nice there's the vinyl protection on the inside of it. And the RCA Victor label. It's psychedelic rock, and my personal opinion, I really think that this was in a battle with Surrealistic Pillow for their top album of their careers. I really liked this one, but I think Surrealistic Pillow is still number one because of the two gigantic hits. They did a hectic summer that year, schedule of appearances and live shows, which made them at that time the highest paid American live act at the time. One of the inspirations to do more psychedelic was the Beatles. Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band was an inspiration to them and to go experimental. It peaked at number 17 on the Billboard charts. That was After Bathing at Baxter's by the Jefferson Airplane in 1970. Now the next one I picked up, I guess you can call it new because it came sealed. I got this in a whatnot. I got two. There's two I'll talk about in a second. In a whatnot auction, and I picked it up for a certain reason. This is Our Memories of Elvis. My grandson and I just last year had been down to been in Memphis, and we went to Graceland, and it's got a nice picture. I'll show it to you here in a second of Graceland. I'm trying to get notes up here. All right, let me get it out. And it came sealed, and it came as a twofer, an Elvis twofer. There's another one, a volume 2, but I haven't entered it into the collection yet. Okay, so as you can see on the front, this is a nice picture of I think that's Elvis' father and Colonel Tom Parker in front of Graceland. And on the back, what I found unique about this album that this is the first of two albums in the Our Memories of Elvis series. It features 10 songs recorded in the 1970s that were stripped down to just the basic rhythm section, express, the symphonic, the background vocals, and everything were taken out except for that. And so it's like him sitting in the studio, playing the piano, and recording and singing really shows the great voice that this man had. The one thing that I can say that I didn't care about the album about too much. It seemed like the whole concept of the album was uh, he was sorry for hurting whoever he broke up. So that was added into the collection this week. This was Our Memories of Elvis. Very first one of the two. I do have the second one, but it has not entered the collection. I only consider them entered in my collection once they have been cleaned, played, and shown. So there it was. Now the next thing is pretty. This is gonna. You guys are gonna say this is pretty strange. Let me get a little sip of coffee here. This is an album that I would not have bought if I went into the stores. I get having a real tough time with my notes. Bear with me. Okay, and this is Borderland. Oh, I jumped ahead. I hadn't listened to this first, but now that I got it up, I'll go ahead and listen to my CDs first. This is Borderland by Chris Christopherson, 1972. So this album, 52 years old. It is that old. I would not have bought this. Okay. Story behind this is that in her later years, my mother um, came out from New York to California and moved in with. She brought her albums. This was one of the albums. She really liked Chris Christopherson. For some reason, I guess it was his voice. I didn't know. He had the greatest voice, not that bad, but not the greatest either. And this was his third album. There was a dominant theme in this album, and throughout it was the ill treatment of women. But it didn't have as much success as the previous albums, but it did reach number six on the country charts, number 41 on the Billboard 200. So I guess you can't say that that's too bad. I don't think there's an inner sleeve with this one either. Yes, there was an inner sleeve. But I think it's yeah, just one of the plain ones that came with it. This for as old as this is, this album is in really good shape. Yeah, got little dings up here for shipping and wear, little usage up here, and a little bit down on the bottom, but no splitting, nothing. And so, I listened to it. I had a good time. I really did see the the stuff about them, the women issues in it, but I won't talk about that. Upset. There it is on the yellow label from Monument. That was the 1972 album, Chris Christopherson, Borderland. You guys are probably laughing. How did he get that in there? That's why I explained how I got it into my collection. All right. Before I listened to that album and entered that one, though, I did listen to two CDs. Okay. And the first one I listened to was A Fool to Care by Boss Skaggs. This gotta do something next time. I'm struggling with notes. Okay, this was released in 2015, and it has 12 tracks plus 3 bonus tracks on it. was Boss Gag's 18th studio album, and it was the second in a trilogy, which I don't have, celebrating American rock music. It's a kind of mix of pop rock and rhythm and blues, and it's on the mellow side. In there, I always liked Boss Gags. I was glad I got this one in my collection. See? And I believe there is a little book in here. No, there is not in this one. That's right. There's no book in. Okay, because I probably wouldn't have read it anyway. You guys know me. And anyway, that was the 2015 album, Full to Care. Okay. Now, this next one, when I started listening to it, I was going, "Oh my goodness, why did I even buy this?" Okay, because I really wasn't keen on the music, but I'm glad it's in the collection. I'll tell you why. This is called Black Star by David Bowie. And it was released in 2016. Okay. When I was listening to it, I was wondering why did I buy this? Okay, because I wasn't real keen on the music. But then when I did a little research on it, I found out why I probably bought it. Okay, because this was released. This is they call it atmospheric art rock. What is atmospheric art rock? In various jazz forms on here. So that mixture was pretty new to me. Maybe it'll grow on me if I listen to it some more. But the reason I got it, this was his last studio album. He died 2 days after its release with liver cancer. You know, and that's probably the reason I bought it. I try to get something after they die. Uh, Not always successful at doing that. And I think I just showed you this in here. I think there's a book in here. Maybe there's not. No book in this one. Oh, yes. I can't get it out. There we go. And again, it's pretty dark. Look at that. Am I supposed to be able to read that? There is writing on it. I don't know why they do this to the customer. Really hard, really tough to read. But anyway, this was Black Star by David Bowie, 2016, last studio album before passing away. Glad it's in my collection for that reason only at this point in time. Maybe I'll get to like this music better. Okay. Now, my last thing for the week is a recent purchase. It's new, a reissue. A recent purchase from Rhino Records in Montclair. My grandson and I made a little trip. This is The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by Genesis. Still in the era when Peter Gabriel was the lead singer. And it's this reissue was reissued in 2018. The original album was out in 1974, which was their sixth studio album. Very prog. It's a 2 LP album. Very prog. I liked it. It's a concept album with a story. My copy is remastered. It has to be with a story, supposedly, about a young man from New York City who grew up and had life changes and so forth. But I thought the actual story was a little silly. But as I've been recently been trying to do is get a little bit of the more of the Jefferson Airplane catalog and more of the Genesis catalog before the Phil Collins, what I call radio hit days. And there's a lot. This is a story I've written in here. I read part of it, not all of it, to be honest with you. Okay, and then each album came with a inner sleeve. So I'm going to show you one here. Oops. Came with an inner sleeve with the lyrics. I did notice that one thing in here, there was a copyright in here from 1974. It says copyrighted by Peter Gabriel. I thought that was a little strange. I guess that's for the story. From when I read a little bit, I guess there was some dissension among the group at that time because Peter Gabriel insisted on being the only one to write the lyrics. And so that's probably why the copyrights. I didn't research that until I had a need to research it anymore. The history buff. There's the nice labels that it comes on. Tells you what's on both sides on the first side. Then on the back side, there's a plane. Don't know what that is, but it's there. So anyway, that was my week of listening to it. A little short this week, but this was a double LP. Got a little bit busy. I'm going to be really busy next week, but I am going to get my listening in. Can't go without my music. So this is SoCalsabre saying thank you very much, folks, for stopping by. Take care of yourselves. Be kind to each other. Hit the like button on the way out. Stay safe.